Implausible Nature now has dice. That's right, you can get these awesome D6s made by our partner, Baron of Dice. These custom dice have the Implausible Nature logo on the 6 side and also come with square corners, which means they will roll more evenly than rounded corner dice. Head on over to baronofdice.com and use discount code IN40K to get a discount on your order and support us at the same time. Check out his full collection of dice for all your gaming needs with the link down in the description. Welcome to Implausible Nature, your home for all things Black Templar. On today's video, we are talking combos. So, with all the new points drops and all the crazy Space Marine things going on right now, we have quite a few combos, some of which got very cheap. And we're here to talk about some of these great combos that you can use in your Black Templars lists. So to get us started, we are going to talk about the Phobos Captain or Phobos Marshal, I guess. And he is a pretty great little unit now. He's only 85 points. He's got concealed positions. He's got the Omni Scramble, so 12-inch bubble of Deny Deep Strike, which is pretty powerful. But also importantly, he comes with a 30-inch Assault 1, Strength 4, AP 2, Damage 3, Master Crafted Instigator Bolt Carbine. So this pairs extremely well with one of our relics, the Witchseeker Bolts. Why does this pair so well with him? Well, first of all, it's a 30-inch gun. It's Assault 1. So he can move and shoot it without penalty. He doesn't have to worry about it being like a heavy one, stalker rifle or whatnot, where he's going to take a -1 to hit. And he can already pick out characters anyway with it, which is great. But so if you need to shoot a non-witch, you can shoot a non-witch. But more importantly, because he's a captain, he hits on 2s, and the gun's only one shot anyway. So if you're not sacrificing any additional firepower to shoot the Witchseeker bolt. If you don't remember, on a 2-up, they deal D3 mortal wounds, or on a hit, I should say. In this case, at 2-up, they deal D3 mortal wounds to an enemy psyker unit. So that's really strong. And if you happen to wound and damage them with the gun itself, that's like a bonus. So this is a really easy way to just dish out mortal wounds every turn to some enemy psyker and plink off some characters that your opponent has that are maybe causing you some trouble. Up next, one of my favorites, one who took a slight nerf with AOC, is none other than Brother Sgt Chaddius. So if you're not familiar with the meme that we've talked about on our Discord channel, Brother Sgt Chaddius is a Centurion Sergeant, Assault Centurion specifically, Sergeant, who has Champion of the Feast and the Crux Obsidian. Now, a lot of you on our Discord have heard me talk about I generally don't like to put Crux Obsidian or Icon onto the Sergeant because even with Champion of the Feast, because then you're losing your most damaging character, right, if you have Champion of the Feast. Centurions are an exception, and the reason why is because they have an even number of wounds to start with, so the Champion of the Feast gives them an odd number of wounds, 5 specifically. -1 damage with the Crux is insane. Any damage to weapons are going to really struggle to get through to them. They did lose AOC, which does make him slightly less Chad, but still absolutely a beast worth running. Especially with Uphold, they're going to always save on a 5-up at worst. So AP4, AP5 isn't gonna hurt them. Absolute beast of a model. He is absolutely worth running with an apothecary. So you're gonna have to build him for that. Really great durable way to make Centurions just silly hard to kill. Next up, we've got something I like to call Clawbones. So what is Clawbones? Well, basically it's any sword brother or sergeant, particularly in particular Vanguard veteran sergeant or a sword brethren from the sword brethren squad, but it could also be a Terminator sergeant with dual lightning claws. The Then you add, obviously, they have 2 lightning claws, is the idea. Then you add in the Bones of Mordred. So the Bones of Mordred allows you to, on a 6 to wound, which you get rerolls to wound, thank you, lightning claws, to deal a mortal wound in addition to any other damage. So if you put this guy, if Champion of the Feast on this guy as well, he's now rocking 7 attacks, hitting on 2s, which is kind of nuts. So you're going to hit with almost all your attacks. You got rerolls to wound. You can dish out some pretty healthy damage with this. Also, it goes without saying in this video, just in case I don't mention it in future combos, any Sergeant combo always pairs well with Champion of the Feast. It's hands down our best stratagem. You should be running it on somebody in every list. It's ridiculous. Um, up next, we've got the Fist of Balthus. So this goes well with several different characters. In particular, I like it on a Champion of the Feast Vanguard Veteran Sergeant because now he has 5 attacks on the charge, hitting on 2s, strength 8, no minus to hit, damage 3, AP 3. So really, really good damage output with this guy. You can put it on a Crusader squad if you want to. It's a little less optimal running it on a Crusader squad, obviously. You could also put it on um, a Relic Terminator Sergeant. It would work there as well. But they're a little bit slow, I think, for that. I like it on the Vanguard Vet Sergeant the best because it really makes him, super punchy, with the rest of his squad. So moving right along on the same vein, another great way to buff up your Vanguard vets is with the Sword of Judgment. Power swords are free on Vanguard vets now, which is a nice little 3-point buff because they did take some points nerfs actually. But Sword of Judgment, again, you can Champion of the Feast him if you want to. Will get you a bunch of attacks with damage 3. Really great way to buff up your Vanguard vet squad. And then, of course, you can combine both of these two, the Relic and the Relic Bearer, Fist of Balthus, Sword of Judgment, onto a blob of Crusaders. You can give the Sword of Judgment to the Sword Brother and a Fist of Balthus to one of the Sword Dude guys. I think this could work on a 20-man squad. I don't know that I would do it on a 10-man squad because they're going to be a little bit more target priority, and they're not quite as durable as a 20-man. But on a big blob, you could definitely do this, and they have plenty of protection to make sure that those attacks get where they need to be. So another sort of set of combos that I want to talk about is our Sword Brethren. So one really cool thing about our Sword Brethren is, one, they have combat squads, and 2, they're all Sword Brethren keyword. So you can mix and match Relic Bearers and Sword Brethren or Sergeant stratagems on them. So you can have one guy with a Champion of the Feast, you can have one guy with a Sword of Judgment from Revered Repositories, you can have another guy with a relic bearer like Clawbones. So you can really kind of stack a whole bunch of buffs onto them. And because they can combat squad, you can divvy them out however you want. You want all the big damage 3 weapons to go in one squad and all the lightning claws in another, or however you want to mix it, you are free to do so, which is a really great thing about them. All right. So another really good character combo here is a Judiciar. Judiciar with the Oathkeeper Warlord trait. So fights last is really super important. There's a lot of enemies fights first and fights last going around, and having one in your pocket is really useful. His range is really limited though. It's only 3 inches. So you got to be within 3 inches of the enemy in order to be able to use it. This can be problematic because your enemy might try to play around it, or if you're too upfront with your Judiciar, he might get pasted before he gets to do his thing. So Oathkeeper is a really great way to mitigate that because it gives him a 6-inch heroic intervention range. And you don't note that with heroic intervention, you don't have to make contact with the enemy squad. You just have to move closer to them. So you can move right up to like 1.5 inches, 2 inches away, cast your cast. What kind of a witch thing is that? shine your time lantern thing at the enemy and make them fight last. A lot of people have talked about Smash characters and what's the best Smash character, and we can make a Smash Chaplain. And yes, we can. Unfortunately, the way that the CP works right now, he's going to really cost to really make him worthwhile. He's going to cost you a whopping 3 CP. So I don't know that he's really worth it, but just so you're aware, it is a thing that you can do. And there are ways to make him a little cheaper, but he's a little bit more reliant on other things in your list at that point. How would I build a Slaplain? I'm going to take a Biker Chaplain, number one, because he's super extra durable compared to a regular Chaplain. And two, he gets an extra attack because he's Primaris. So he's fast, he's durable, and he gets an extra attack. That's really important, those 3 key things. Then I'm going to give him Oath of Glory. A lot of people go with Mantra of Strength over that. I don't think that's the right thing. The reason is, I'll tell you in just a second. You're going to chant that litany and Litany of Hate pretty much every time you want to smash him into something, and deal heavy damage. The reason for this, you can choose you want to make him a master of the sanctity as well, so that you can get the wise orator warlord trait, so that way you can make sure that your litanies go off reliably on a 2+. You don't want to leave it to chance, right? And we don't want to be spending a ton of CP in battle for bombastic. You'll have your litanies go off on a 2+. The second litany, dealer's choice, whatever fits your army best. You're not going to be using it all that much. It's basically like a back pocket type of thing. Then you're going to use Heir of Sigismund to get the Paragon of Fury. And the reason we're doing this is it gives us a pip of strength, and it has some free mortal wounds when you charge into something. He's got a big fat base, so you can slide that guy in there sideways and cause some mortal wounds to a bunch of models. That might help if you're attacking chaff. And then lastly, we're going to give him a relic, the Benediction of Fury, of course. Okay, so what does all this get us? Well, assuming your 2 litanies go off, which hopefully they should on a 2+, you're going to have full rerolls to hit, which is important for why I'll tell you. And your attacks, when you charge, are going to be at Strength 8. So you get +2 from the Crasius. You get +1 from Paragon of Fury, and you get another +1 from Oath of Glory. So the other part about Oath of Glory, which is why I think it's better than Mantra of Strength, is every 6 to hit is 2 extra hits. 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to fish for 6s. Now he's only got 5 attacks, so he is a little light on attacks. But if you're fishing specifically for 6s, re-rolling everything that's not a 6, you should on average end up with 1 to 2 6s. But you have the potential, if your dice are hot, to spike for an absurd amount of attacks, because each 6 is 2 extra hits, right? So that will give you Strength 8, AP -2, damage 3 attacks, which is quite a lot of damage output from this. You can end up very easily with 10 or so hits from this. And then every 6 to wound also does a mortal wound as well from the Benediction of Fury. So mortal wounds abound with this guy. So unfortunately, like I said, he's really expensive. He's 3 CP. So you're probably not going to run him in most games, but he's definitely a really cool sort of beat stick character if you're really desperate to run one. So that just about wraps it up. I do have one more combo. I don't know if it's competitive, but it looks fun, and they're super cheap now. And that is my Sternguard Meme Flamer unit. So what are we doing with this unit? Is we're going to take a 5-man Sternguard squad. They're only 100 points now. All their gear is free. Cool. And we're going to give the Sergeant a Combi Flamer, and I guess a Power Fist or some sort of power weapon. And then we're going to give 3 guys Combi Flamers. We're going to give one guy a Flamer, which we're going to upgrade to the Beast Pyre. And then we're going to give another guy a Heavy Flamer. And now you have a squad of 5 dudes with a whole bunch of flamers, some of which are pretty solid for 110 points. That's not bad. And then don't forget Heretic's Pyre. If you encounter something that you could basically make it blast, it's only 1 CP to get extra, to get, guaranteed hits. So is this competitive? I don't know, but it seems fun and it's a combo that we can do. So anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today. This was a little bit longer video. Thanks for sticking with me. But hopefully you enjoyed these combos, and let us know what you think down in the comments. What success have you had with them? Are there any combos I missed that you think is a great thing that we can do? In any case, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and check out our Discord and our Patreon. And until next time, keep on crusading.